Ionic stockholders, on behalf of the Board of Directors of Ionic Digital, Inc., we are pleased to invite you to attend the 2025 Annual General Meeting of the company's stockholders, to be held at 9 a.m. Eastern on Monday, March 17th. The annual meeting will be virtual only. The live webcast of the meeting will be available via the virtual meeting portal at proxydocs.com/Ionic Digital. To participate in the annual meeting, you must pre-register at proxydocs.com/Ionic Digital by March 16th, 2025 at 10 p.m. Eastern. The notice of annual general meeting of stockholders and the additional information accessible at proxydocs.com/Ionic Digital includes details about the annual meeting, our nominee for election to the board, and information regarding virtual attendance for the annual meeting. We encourage you to carefully read the information accessible at proxydocs.com/Ionic Digital, as it contains important information about the annual meeting. The board's immediate priorities are liquidity options for stockholders and working towards completion of the audit with the replacement auditor. In Ionic's inaugural year, foundation-setting progress has been made across many operational and organizational fronts, and we are looking forward to sharing additional information on Ionic's performance and achievements in 2024, as well as the board's views on the company's future in 2025. Board overview. In 2024, the board focused on three critical objectives: ensuring the energization of the Cedarvale site remained on budget and on schedule, evaluating the contractual performance of the master services agreement between the company and Hut 8 to ensure maximum value, and positioning the company to maximize long-term stockholder value. The board, comprised of Scott Duffy, Thomas D. Fiore, Scott Flanders, and Elizabeth LaPuma, along with the management team, remain committed to responsive corporate governance with a focus on managing risk and positioning Ionic to continue to execute on its long-term goals. Ms. LaPuma is standing for re-election to the single Class 1 seat on the board that is up for election at the annual meeting. Ionic's 2024 performance. With outlined objectives in mind, the board and the management team achieved the following milestones, which reinforce the board's commitment to financial discipline, operational efficiency, and long-term value creation for stockholders. As of January 16th of 2025, the Cedarvale, Texas 215-megawatt facility is fully energized and actively mining Bitcoin 7 days a week. Across all of our mining locations in 2024, Ionic mined 2,081 Bitcoin, operated at a daily average hash rate of 6.51 exahash per second. Following a thorough review by an independent global financial advisory firm, the board determined that Hut 8 was in breach of its contractual agreement with Ionic. As a result, the board terminated the MSA, ensuring a professional and efficient transition while safeguarding the company's interests. Through this process, the board right-sized its operational expenses and replaced operational and administrative management with Ionic personnel and trusted vendors. Since its inception, the company has maintained a zero-debt position while making significant infrastructure investments, demonstrating the board and management's commitment to responsible growth and diligent risk management. The audit committee engaged BDO as the company's new auditor after an extensive evaluation process. The board has been working closely with BDO to prepare the company's initial audit for the partial 2024 calendar year. Progress remains steady, laying the foundation for liquidity options for stockholders in 2025. Positioning Ionic for the future. As Ionic looks to the future, management and the board are determined to find the right path to optimize the company for growth, position the company for future capital markets access, and maximize stockholder value. We are working with leading financial advisors to support the company in its efforts to list on a regulatory compliant national securities exchange and evaluate any alternative or complementary transactions to provide liquidity to stockholders consistent with Ionic's commitment to maximizing stockholder value. For example, Ionic Digital is exploring diversified revenue sources driven by AI and data center market appetite. We began operations with 28,000 miners in company-owned facilities and 41,000 in hosted facilities. By December 31st of 2024, our total fleet increased to 86,000 miners in company-owned facilities and 27,000 in hosted facilities. As we have shared, the board has determined a minimum cash position be maintained through the selling of a judicious portion of the 2,551 Bitcoin on our balance sheet as of January 31st of 2025, which will allow us to take advantage of favorable trading dynamics and generate liquidity to fund infrastructure investments across our facilities. This strategic lever ensures we continue to deliver value for our stockholders and position the business for the future by maintaining our HODL strategy while also providing us with the necessary liquidity to make infrastructure investments without taking on debt. We remain confident in our strategy and believe that our zero debt position, right-sized operational structure following the termination of the Hut 8 MSA, and attractiveness of our site provide us with an extremely advantageous position for 2025 and beyond. Dissident stockholder warning. Your vote will be especially important at this year's annual meeting. Brett Perry, Vitan Vaselli, and Christopher Villinger, each a stockholder of record of a company, have purported to provide notice that they intend to propose two nominees, Mike Abbate and Oliver Weiner, to stand for election to our board of directors in opposition to the nominee recommended by the board, Elizabeth LaPuma. The board does not endorse the dissident nominees and unanimously recommends that you vote for the election of the company nominee, Ms. LaPuma. The board strongly urges you not to sign or return any proxy card sent to you by or on behalf of the dissident stockholders. The dissident stockholders are acting on behalf of and financially backed by non-stockholders of Ionic, including Mike Cagney and his company Figure Markets Holdings, Inc. The dissident stockholders, acting on behalf of Mr. Cagney, are seeking to elect the dissident nominees to advance the financial interests of Mr. Cagney and Figure Markets by listing Ionic shares on Figure Markets, an unproven alternative trading system which the board believes poses a significant risk to the value of Ionic shares. This differs from the company's stated intention of listing on a regulatory compliant national securities exchange or engaging in complementary or alternative transactions to provide liquidity and maximize value for stockholders. You may receive proxy solicitation materials from or on behalf of the dissident stockholders. The board recommends that you disregard them. We are not responsible for the accuracy of any information provided by or relating to the dissident stockholders or the dissident nominees contained in any proxy solicitation materials, filed or if and when disseminated by or on behalf of the dissident stockholders, or any other statements that the dissident stockholders or their representatives have made or may otherwise make. Please vote your shares. Your vote matters and is important to us, and we encourage all stockholders to read the accompanying materials. The board unanimously recommends a vote for the director nominee chosen by your board, Elizabeth LaPuma. Ionic stockholders can vote by using your control number found in your email or on the vote proxy form and visiting proxypush.com/Ionic Digital or by the automated telephone line 866-286-3608 and following the prompts. If you prefer to speak to a live voting agent or have any questions regarding voting at this meeting, please contact our voting agent toll-free at 888-858-9906, Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. Eastern. Voting as soon as possible will ensure you are represented at the annual meeting, and we appreciate your support regardless of the amount of shares you hold. Even if you have previously given the opposition group your vote, by voting today with us, you will cancel any previous proxy given, and only your vote with the board will count. Thank you for your continued support of Ionic Digital. Sincerely, Anthony McKiernan, Thomas DiFiore, Scott Duffy, Scott Flanders, and Elizabeth LaPuma.